everyone. If you're using a yoga mat today, lay it out so that the long edge of the mat runs with the edge of your monitor, and that way we'll be able to mirror one another through our practice today. So once you've got your mat rolled out, come to find a seat right in the center of it, however you feel most comfortable. If that's cross-legged or kneeling or any other variation, it doesn't matter so long as it's easy for your spine to be upright and for your shoulders to be relaxed. Then close your eyes and start to tune into the bones of your seat and feel as though those bones could reach right down into the earth and spread a little bit further wide. And as you find yourself sitting with a little bit more intention, you might find that your spine naturally stems up into more length. Take a moment to lift your shoulders up to your ears, squeeze them back, and then release them down the back. And let your arms just hang wherever they're most comfortable. And then rest your attention right at the tip of your nose and find a comfortable, easy breath in. And a full, intentional breath out. And again, find a comfortable, easy breath in. You might let this next exhalation be just a little bit longer than the last one. And we'll just continue to develop a calm and steady breath by bringing a hint of emphasis to exhalation, which helps us to trigger a natural relaxation response. Now bringing your hands to your heart center, interlace your fingers, and with a deep breath in, stretch the arms up to the sky. Reach them a little bit back behind your ears. And then as you breathe out, bring your hands to the back of your head and round the back, hugging your elbows in toward one another. And we'll just begin our practice with an easy warm-up for the spine and shoulders. Inhaling, lift up your chest, open the elbows wide and tilt your tailbone back. And then exhaling, round the back and hug your elbows in. And find that again, take a deep breath in, rocking your tailbone back, lift up your chin, and exhale as you soften into your spine. And again, take a deep breath in, opening the whole front body. And exhaling, feel the whole back body softening. Find another round. And then lift up to your center, take a breath, and we'll release, and let's lean back onto the bones of the seat and uncross the legs and start off in a boat pose. So in this boat pose, we'll keep our knees bent and our shins parallel to the ground so that there's no pull on the hamstrings, and that should hopefully leave the back more upright. Now you can continue to hang on to the backs of your legs and support yourself and maybe pull yourself into a hint more height, or if you want more challenge today, let your fingertips just lengthen forward. All right, I would rest your eye gaze right at the tip of your toes, and as you breathe in deeply, feel your breath actually adding a bit more space into your trunk. When you exhale, always take advantage of any opportunity to relax tension or strain. And again, take a long, deep breath in. Feel your chest broadening and rising up out of your waist. And as you breathe out, feel your shoulders soft and your jaw relaxed. Give a little bit of a squeeze of your inner legs together to help support the effort, and stay for one more breath. And as you release it, bring your fingertips down and tuck your feet over to the right-hand side of your hips so that you're a bit staggered. We'll leave the right fingertips on the ground. Take a deep breath in, reaching up through the left arm, and then exhaling, take a long side stretch over to your right. And then feel your left shoulder rolling back towards the wall behind you. Look up to the ceiling. And just relax as you breathe out. Stay for another breath. And then let go. And as you lift up to your center, bring your right hand onto your left knee, your left hand behind your back, and as you breathe out, take a simple spinal twist. So gaze over your left shoulder, feel your shoulders broadening and still softening down the back. And take one last breath. And let it go. And with your next breath in, turn forward. Lean back onto that left hip, and then we'll just let our feet come forward again and return to boat. Okay. So it's up to you as you practice Shavasana whether you'd like to support your legs or you can take on a little bit more challenge. You only ever want to take on as much challenge as you're able to maintain a comfortable breath. So if you find yourself like grimacing or shaking or clenching your jaw, back off a little bit, maybe lower the feet further down, wiggle up out of your waist, hang onto your legs. All right? So in any event, eye gaze is still, breath is steady, a little bit of a smile goes a really long way throughout the practice. Just helps to signal to the nervous system that we're safe, we're comfortable, we're at ease. Okay. So take one more breath here, and then we'll lean over onto the right hip and tuck our feet over to the left. With the left hand grounded, inhale, stretch the right arm up, and exhale as you reach overhead. Easy side stretch. Feel your right shoulder pulling back towards the wall behind you, and then just let it relax down the back. Rise up into your center, take a breath. With your left hand finding your right knee and your right hand on the floor behind your back, take a simple twist as you release that breath. So from here, walk your hands to the right hand side of your mat and rise up onto your hands and knees to a table position. As you breathe in, round your spine up like a cat and feel your whole body really, really light. And then as you breathe out, sink into a cow stretch and feel yourself heavy and grounded. And again, inhale, pull your navel up and into the spine, look in towards the center of your belly. And as you exhale, sink and just feel how you naturally soften into a simple back bend. Find a few more rounds alternately, rising up on the inhalations and sinking down with the exhalations. And while you're introducing this movement to your spine, also be really mindful of how your hands are interacting with the ground. You can keep your fingers spread really wide. And even feel into the sense of rotation that starts to surface through your shoulders and through your hips. Let's take one more round. Rise that breathing in. And as you exhale, sink into your cow stretch. Tuck your toes, find a breath looking up to the sky. And when you exhale this time, lift your knees and pull yourself back into your first downward facing dog. Let's lift up onto the toes, take a deep breath in, and I'm going to be doing the opposite leg that you're all doing throughout the practice. So as you breathe out, bend your right knee and press your left heel down to the floor. Just hold that for a moment, feeling your hips rise. And with your next breath in, lift back up onto your toes, and when you exhale, drop into the opposite side. So you're bending your left knee and letting your right heel sink down. Hips are still as high as can be. Inhale, lift up onto your toes. Exhale, bend the right knee, press the left heel down. And now take a breath in, sending your right leg up and back. And as you exhale, rounding your back, see if you can touch your knee to your left upper arm so there's a twist. Stretch the leg back, take a deep breath in. And then again, as you exhale, hugging your knee in, round the back, soften the elbows a little bit and see if you can touch your knee to your upper arm. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, hug in. Connect. and then holding here. Keep breathing comfortably. So I know it's intense. Give it a little bit more curiosity, a little bit more patience. Keep that breath flowing. Rise up through your navel, and then with your next breath in, extend your leg back. And as you exhale, step all the way forward. Good. Stretch your chest forward, take a breath. Start to straighten out the leg, folding as you exhale. Find that a few times. Inhale, open up your chest. Lengthen the spine, and then exhale as you fold. Inhale, lengthen again. Return to a lunge. Exhale, fold. One more time. Breathe into a lunge. Add out to a fold. Good. Inhaling lunge, press into your palms. And as you exhale, step back into downward facing dog. From this downward dog, open to a plank position when you breathe in. Find a straight, strong line from your head through your hips to your heels. And then exhaling, we'll lower to the belly, which you might approach by bringing the knees down first and then hug the elbows in to come down with control. Rise up as you breathe into a low cobra. Feel your shoulders drawn away from ears, hips are still grounded. And as you exhale, return to down dog. Give yourself a nice deep breath. Good. Now lift up onto the toes. And as you release your breath, bend the left knee and press your right heel down. Raise that left leg up. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, hug your knee across the body and see if you can connect your knee to your upper right arm. Inhale, extend back. Really tapping into the power of your belly. Exhale, pull the leg across the body. Make a connection. Inhale as you reach back. And this one will hold. So exhale, hug the knee across the body. Tap the knee into the upper arm and lift. Lift away up onto the tips of your back toes. Press your palms firmly into the earth. Pull your belly up and in, and with a really long, comfortable breath, hang tight. With your next breath, reach back. And then as you release it, step all the way forward. Rise up onto fingertips, stretch the chest forward, breathe in, and fold as you exhale. And again, alternately lunge with inhalation and fold with an exhalation. Find two more. And the last time to fold. So bend your knee, bring your back foot forward, lengthen out, and then as you breathe out, fold over your legs. Maybe give your head a little bit of a nod, yes and no, to further relax your neck. Feel your chest as open as can be. Now breathing in, look forward. Lift the arms all the way up alongside of the ears. And as you exhale, bring your hands to the heart center. We'll find a couple of rounds of Surya Namaskar, the salutation to the sun. So we'll start with a breath in, lifting the arms up. And if you're warm enough, a little bit back. And then as you exhale, fold forward, keeping your chest as open as can be. Inhaling, bring your right foot to the back of your mat. Exhale as you step into a downward facing dog. As you inhale, open up to a plank position. As you exhale, gently lower all the way down to the belly, keeping your elbows drawn in. Now rise up into a cobra as you breathe in. Draw the shoulders back. And as you exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in, lift up your right leg. Exhale as you step all the way forward gently. Inhale as you step your back foot forward, open your heart. And exhale as you fold. Inhale as you stand tall, lift the arms up and back. Exhaling, bring your hands to your heart. Take a breath, lift the arms up. Exhale as you fold. Inhaling, bring your left foot to the back of your mat. Exhaling, take downward dog. Inhaling, open to a plank position. And then exhaling, gently lower down. So knees can be lifted or down. Keep your belly awake. Rise up into cobra when you breathe in. And press back into downward dog as you exhale. Inhaling, lift up your left leg. Exhaling, step all the way forward. Inhaling, bring your back foot forward, open your chest. Exhaling, fold. Rise up as you breathe in. Exhale as you return to your center. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, right foot steps back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, high plank. Exhale as you gently lower down. Inhale as you lift to cobra. Exhale as you press to down dog. Taking a breath, lift up your right leg. As you exhale, step your right foot all the way forward. As you inhale, lift up your arms. Let's stand tall. And then exhaling, bring your hands down. Come forward, take a breath in, lengthen. Fold as you exhale. Rising up, inhale. Lift the arms up and back, and then exhale, hands to the heart center. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, slowly lower down. Rise up as you breathe in. Press back as you exhale. Raise your left leg up and back, deep breath in. Exhale as you step forward. Inhaling, stand tall, lift the arms up. And then exhaling, bring your hands down. Step forward as you breathe in, get a little bit longer, and fold as you exhale. Good, now take a deep breath in, lifting, and as you breathe out, bring your hands to your heart. Good. So now leaving your feet about hip-width distance apart, interlace your fingers behind your back. Take a breath, lifting up your chest, squeezing shoulder blades in, and as you exhale, fold forward. So as we come into the standing yoga mudra, a standing forward bend, you might like to bend the knees a little bit further to accommodate any stiffness in the legs or low back. If you have any sensitivity in your shoulders, a nice alternative would just be for your hands to rest on your hips and the elbows to hug in toward one another. Okay. So in any event, the posture is helping to promote more strength of the upper back and more softness across the chest. While you're folding, use the opportunity to lengthen out your exhalations. And in doing so, promote a bit more calm, a slower heart rate, and just an overall quality of ease. Now touching your fingertips down to the ground, take a breath in and look forward. Walk your feet all the way together. And with your big toes touching and your ankles connected, bend your knees generously as you breathe out. Now raise your arms up to the sky in Utkatasana, but we're going to take a twist. So as you exhale, start to turn your heart toward me, to your left, and bring your right elbow across your left thigh. With your left hand on top of your right, press down to lift your chest up and away from your hips. So your hips are sitting lower, your heart is rising higher, and as much as you can feel for it, you're really letting your tailbone pull back and your crown pull forward. You're as long as can be. Now, twisting always has a way of sort of interfering with our ability to breathe easily. It has a way of making our breath a bit more rapid, a bit more shallow. Okay. So you're going to use this shape as an opportunity to be curious and explore ways of making your next breath deeper and easier than your last. Now look down to the ground for balance. Stand tall, take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, fold forward. Now look forward as you breathe in. And then soften your knees and step your left foot to the back of your mat. Turn your whole body to face me. Set your fingertips on the ground beneath your shoulders. Point your toes to the long side of your mat so that your feet are parallel. And then as you exhale, walk your hands between your feet and fold forward. As you're folding, maintain some strength through your legs. Feel the front of each thigh gently rising up and pressing back towards the bones, which will help you to feel that your tailbone is rising. Your low back is a bit longer. Now look forward as you breathe in and set your hands right underneath your shoulders. Take a quick break to catch your balance and exhale, just bring your hands to your hips. Good. Now rise up. Open up the arms, turn your toes to your right, and we're going to take triangle on the right leg so you can pull the right hip back or reach your right hand past your toes and then lower your hand down. Gaze to your left hand. And as you lift your gaze up to that top hand, feel your heart following the gazing point. If your neck feels strained at all with that, you can, of course, as an alternative, look down to the floor. But if you're all right with the gaze being lifted, you might find that the posture feels a little bit more expansive, a little roomier and more accessible to the breath. Take one more breath here. And as you let it go, just look down to the floor for balance. Bend your right knee and pull yourself up into Warrior Two as you breathe in. So we're going to hold Warrior for a little while and just let our eye gaze now rest right past the reach of the right middle finger. Now cue attention to the gazing point fairly frequently because where and how we use our eyes and where we rest our eyes has a pretty significant impact both on the alignment of the body and the activity of the mind. So we'll tend to find that when the mind is really active, the eyes dart around a lot. And we can actually help to quiet the mind and quiet that activity by letting the gaze find just one point to rest upon and allow that gazing point to soften as well. So meanwhile, your legs are still really strong and active. Feet are pressing into the floor, pulling in toward one another. Lower belly is rising. And let's straighten out that leg. Take a deep breath in. Lift the arms, pivot the toes to the opposite side, and as you exhale, come into the opposite side, warrior two. Okay. So we're going to keep the arms strong throughout. The muscles of the arms are kind of lifting up and hugging to the bones. Lower belly is continuing to rise. There's even a real subtle sense of lifting up the floor of the pelvis. So in every shape, we can always just observe how the breath flows and align the posture in a way that makes it easier to breathe more deeply. We can also always kind of inquire into any opportunities to feel more balanced, to be more challenged and still more comfortable, more alert and still more relaxed. So now let's straighten out that left leg, pull the left hip back, and as you breathe out, drop into your triangle. Again, with Trikonasana, the gazing point would either be at the top hand or the bottom big toe. Okay. Set it up, commit to it, and find your way into a really comfortable breath. Feel the undercarriage of the posture growing a little bit longer. The legs even sturdier. Stay for one more breath. And as you let it go, look down to the ground for balance. Slowly rise up as you breathe in. Turn your toes to the long side of the mat. And then as you breathe out, bring your hands back down to the floor. Take a moment opening up your chest, lifting up your tailbone. Firm up your legs, and as you breathe out, fold forward. So let's walk the hands forward now and look a little bit forward. Start to rotate your toes to the left and then step your right foot alongside of your left foot. Bring your big toes together and your ankles together and find a forward bend. Now bending your knees, lift the arms up overhead to Utkatasana and we'll revolve again toward one another. So you'll be bringing your left elbow across your right leg. And it's a lot of downward press. Take that top hand and push it down into your hand. Take your bottom elbow and press it down into your leg and let all of that active grounding help to inspire more lift and more length. As much as possible, let your heart be higher than your hips, right? So the pose keeps getting longer and wider. Gaze is up to the ceiling if your neck is comfortable. Down to the floor, of course, if it's not. Take about 2 more really generous breaths. And as you let this next one go, look down, catch your balance, rise up as you breathe in, get a little bit of a reach back, and fold as you exhale. So from here, look forward, soften your knees, and now bring the left foot all the way back. We're going to bring the back knee down. So as we start to soften the hips forward, we'll start feeling a little stretch open up across the front of your left hip. So again, I'm doing the opposite leg as you. So I'm just going to bring the hands to rest on the front thigh. Start to lift up out of that hip crease. So I'm pushing down pretty actively through my front heel. And as I do, I start to feel more pull across the front of, this, it's my right hip, your left hip. Okay. So bring your breath down into your belly. And if this feels like it's already pretty intense, stay put. But if you feel like you have room to continue on, you can bring your arms overhead, interlace the fingers, and start to extend a little further back. Immediately come back to breath. If it can't be comfortable, we've gone too far. Take a last breath in and release. All right, let's bring our hands down to either side of that front foot. Straighten out the front leg. Flex the foot, and then just begin to lower down a hint. More so than drawing your head down towards your knee, feel that you're drawing your heart forward towards your toes. So let your back be as long as can possibly be. And then rise up, pull that front foot a little further back, and come up into a simple kneeling position. So just a few moments ago, we were in a fairly deep lunge. Rather than lunging now, just let your front foot sit right underneath your knee, and your back hip right on top of the knee. So you've got 90 degrees at each knee. We're gonna square off the hips, lift up tall, and then twist toward me. And let your left elbow slide outside of your right thigh. Bring your hands together at your heart. Pull the belly up and in, and then turn your gaze up to the ceiling. Find a couple of long, deep breaths. If it's in your practice to take this further and you'd like to, you could try sliding your arm down to bring your fingers to the floor. Or if your shoulders are really comfortable and your flexibility is pretty advanced, there's a bind available here. So in the bind, it would be your left arm reaching through your legs and your right hand behind your back. So it's all about finding sustainable challenge. Something that is compelling, right? Something that keeps your attention present, but it's still very comfortable and easy to breathe. Never straining in asana. Now let's look to the floor. Release the hands. And then just pick up your back knee. Step the back foot in a smidge and turn the heel in so that your foot is fully grounded. Take a couple of moments to explore the mobility of your hips. And just from feeling, slow down and get a sense of where your center is. When it seems as though you've found your center, stop. And we're going to set up the left hand either onto the floor or on a block. If you don't have a block at home, a shoebox is a great block, or a couple of books. Set something up that allows the left hand to be really firmly grounded. Bring your right hand to your low back and then start to turn your heart toward me. Revolve triangle. So we might ultimately, if we feel comfortable, reach that right arm up. If you're a little bit bendier, left hand might hop across the foot and sit outside of the little toe. All right, so keep breathing comfortably, gazing up if it's comfortable, looking down if it's not. And feel your legs strong, your belly active, your chest open, and release. So now let's just look forward. Soften the front foot. Bring the back leg forward and look up. Take a breath. And as you breathe out, fold. All right, so coming all the way tall to stand now. Let's lift the arms up overhead. Get a little bit of a reach back. And then release the hands. And we'll take that into a balance challenge. So gaze straight forward, not at the screen, but straight past the tip of your nose, and then bend the right knee. When it feels as though your balance is fairly steady, lift up that knee and catch it with your left hand. Now we're going to reach the right arm up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, twist towards me, bringing the left arm back. Now you can hold just like you are, or if your leg is flexible and your balance is steady, you can extend the leg and hang on to the toe. Take 5 comfortable, easy breaths. Try to keep your standing toes relaxed. Right? Your face is soft, your gaze is calm. So just observe the challenge without becoming too wrapped up in hanging on to it. Good. Now look forward, bring your arm forward. We're just going to take that leg straight back. So as you bend your left knee, bring your chest forward. I'm taking my hands to the heart. Right leg back. And then touch your fingertips down. And find a step to the back of your mat. Rotate towards me, set your feet parallel. Clasp your hands behind your back and fold, let your arms hang overhead. If your breath feels choppy or shallow, use this space and this shape to slow it down. Slow down the exhalations and cultivate more calm. And then take a breath in, look forward, touch your hands down to the floor. Now walk your hands over to the right hand side of the mat. Bend that right knee. Bring your back leg forward. Set your feet up about hip width distance apart. Get a little longer as you breathe in. And then fold as you exhale. So let's look forward again. Soften our knees. And now with your right foot, take a giant step back. So again, we're working with opposite legs. I've got my left foot back. You're going to bring your right foot back so that we twist toward each other. Bring your back knee down. Make sure that your feet are far enough apart that as you rise up, your knee isn't hiding your toes. And then just start to soften your hips forward. And as you're softening those hips forward, notice what you feel and where you feel. The hope is that you're feeling some opening across the front of your right hip. If you've got a lot of mobility in your hips and you feel more of a pinch at your left hip, press down further into that left heel, and that should help you to create more space. So again, if you feel a lot of challenge here, stay put. If you still have some space, lift the arms up and start to even reach a bit back. So I'm hugging the arms in toward my ears. And I'm pulling my breath down into the belly to help create more space. Wherever you are, you should still be able to explore a comfortable breath. And with the release of this next exhalation, lower the hands down. Straighten out the front leg. Flex the foot, pull your chest open, and then start to soften into a fold. All right, so be mindful of not rounding the back. It might shock the spine after coming out of a back bend, but instead pull the tailbone back and the heart forward. Just keep drawing your attention into the experience of being in each shape, each form with each breath. So now look forward. Pull the front foot a little bit back. And then rise up into a simple kneeling stance, so 90 degrees at each knee. Okay. Lift up the belly and begin to twist toward me. And let your right elbow slide outside of your left thigh. So hands to the heart, gaze to the ceiling. And there's a sense of sort of turning your hips down as you're turning your heart up, so that the twist is coming right from your middle back. So notice how you feel here, and if it's really easy and comfortable to breathe and you want a little bit more depth, then you might explore pressing your fingertips down to the ground. Or if you're curious about binding here, work your shoulder really close down to your knee, and then see about taking your arm through the leg for your hands to connect behind the back. Okay, so wherever you are, the breath should still be comfortable. Notice the way that your feet touch the floor. Notice even the expression on your face. If anything seems to be embodying stress or strain, let it go. All right, let's look down. Let go. And then step the back foot just a smidge inward. Turn that back heel in. As we extend the front leg, we'll lengthen the spine. Take a deep breath. And then plant the right hand maybe on a block, or if it's comfortable, on the floor. Bring your left hand to the low back and draw the tailbone back as you twirl open. Keep breathing. If it's comfortable to extend the arm, take the arm up next. And if you have the space for your hand to hop over to the little toe side of the foot, give it a try. So both legs are really strong and actively engaged. Toes are relaxed. Breath is steady. All right, let's look down. Release the hand. Take your gaze forward, soften that front knee, and bring your back foot forward. So we're going to look up for a moment, take a breath, and then fold as we release it. Stand up tall. Maybe get a little bit of a reach back, and then bring the hands to the heart and gaze straight ahead. All right, so now start to bend the left knee. As your weight is shifting onto your right foot, practice keeping your toes relaxed. And if and when you feel stable enough to pick up your knee, grab it. Hang on with your right hand. Reach your left arm up, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, twist toward me. If you choose to turn your eye gaze, choose it to turn it really slowly and incrementally so that you don't disrupt your balance. If your balance is steady and your leg is flexible, you might extend it. Right. So keep a sense of humor and a spirit of curiosity. If you fall out of the pose or step down, just give yourself a moment to recollect. Find your breath. Come back in. Take another 2. And with 1, we are out. Turn forward. And just like you did on the other side, let's see if we can find a controlled sail back. Bring your hands to the ground and then step back. All right, let's come into a downward facing dog. Find a nice cleansing breath pulled in through your nose and out through your mouth. Transition into a plank position, and then from your plank, lower all the way down onto the belly. All right. So now setting up for a back bend. Bend the knees. See how it feels for you to hang onto your ankles. If it's comfortable, maintain that connection. If it's not, a great alternative to this next series is just going to be to lift up into cobra. Okay. So for those of you who are comfortable hanging onto your ankles, grab on, wake up the inner legs, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then rise up into your bow pose. All right, so long, deep breath. We're going to take 10. Trying to keep your gaze still. A little bit of a smile on the face. And as your feet are pressing back, your knees are rising up. That's about 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. Stay with me. All right. So rather than lowering down now, let's stay lifted and let the left hand reach forward and the left leg back, or cross the left ankle behind the right and hold. Another 5, 4, keep the breath steady, 3, 2, and grab on. All right, so right back into bow, almost done. Okay. Reach the opposite pair apart, or cross the ankles for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Lift up one breath and let go. Okay, so just find a little shift. Let your feet rock side and side. Relax your head. Slow down your exhalations. Let your feet drop back. We'll rise up into Cobra and then press back into Down Dog. All right, and for a few moments, just hang here in Down Dog, bringing a bit of emphasis to how long you can be. All right, let your legs actively engage to press up and back. Let your neck go. Feel your chest really receptive to the movement of your breath. Now lower your knees a little bit wide. Cross your ankles and have a seat. Okay. So I know that was a big crowd pleaser, and we're just going to take one more big challenge since we're here. In Purvottanasana. So setting up for an inclined plank, we're going to let our legs be straight and strong. Hands are going to come right alongside of the hips, and then a little bit back. And as you start to lean back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press into your heels to rise up into a plank. Relax the head back. And find exaggerated connections into your hands and feet to continue supporting the lift of the hips. For 2. And one more breath. Good. Let it go. All right, so from here, slide your hips about halfway up towards your heels, and then recline onto your back. So setting up for bridge pose, you might like to let your knees wiggle side and side. And in finding that wiggle and that shift, you can walk your shoulder blades close together. Now with your feet parallel and about hip to shoulder width distance apart. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, lift up into your bridge. I like to interlace my fingers beneath my back. Just gives me a little bit more ability to root down through my arms and rise up across my chest. But if that's not within your body's comfort level, hands on the floor is perfectly fine. While you're holding, imagine that you're pressing down through your heels, almost so much that you could almost push into the basement, push right through the floor. And then imagine that you were holding a ball between your legs. So you would just have a little sense of gravitation of the legs toward each other to help support your pelvic stability. Take one more breath. And then slowly release. Bring your knees together and your arms apart. And just hang out for a couple of moments. Find your breath and rest. All right, so we're going to come up into either a second round of bridge, or if you're comfortable with wheel, one round of wheel. So for bridge, you would set up exactly as we just did. Find a little shift of your knees, and then lift up the lower half of the body. For a wheel, bring your hands behind your shoulders so that your fingers turn mostly towards your feet, maybe slightly out to the long sides of the mat. Now, as you press down into your feet and press down into your hands, you're going to lift up your hips, push into the hands, and see if the top of the head can just barely touch the floor. Hug the elbows in, take a breath, and then exhale as you extend. Right? And as you extend, you're looking to bring your shoulders above your wrists so that your arms are as comfortable as can be. Take 5 deep breaths. For 4. 3. 2. And with 1, slowly lower down. Tuck your chin and release. Right now, heel toe your feet all the way together. Let your knees fall apart. When you bring your hands to your legs, it's not with the intention of stretching the hips by pushing the legs down. Instead, just bring your hands right to the tops of your thighs and push a little bit forward, which will introduce a tractioning sensation into your back. So comfortable breath, comfortable shape. So now just draw your legs together and bring your knees into your chest. Good, now open up your arms and roll your knees over toward me. So as your knees fall down to the floor to your left, you're going to turn your chin away from me and look to your right. And just find a couple of really easy breaths, bringing a little bit of emphasis to exhalation to support the intention of relaxation. So the work is behind us. We're starting to just wind down and prepare for our final relaxation. Come back to the middle when you breathe in. And hug your knees as you breathe out. Stay for a moment. Open up your arms and let your legs fall away from me to your right. You can turn your chin toward me to your left. Take Take a nice, comfortable breath, and as you're breathing out, just feel like you're sinking into the couch of the floor. Let it be the easiest possible thing. You might close your eyes and let your inner eye gaze rest on a glow present just behind your forehead. Good. And then come back into the middle. Alright, so now that you're in the center, wrap your arms around your legs, lift your nose up to your knees, and just curl up into a really good embrace. And then as you rest your head, bring your legs up to the sky. Hold on to the backs of the legs, give them a real gentle pull, just enough to feel some stretch surfacing through the back of each leg. Hang on to your ankles, bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. And as though you were going to drop your feet on the floor, start to reach your legs forward, but hang on to them. That's just going to draw your shoulders down away from your ears. So nice, easy release on the neck. And from there, as you lift up your head, bring your feet towards your head and your head towards your feet. Take a moment with the whole back body totally round and soft and easy. And then release. All right, let's take a long reach of the arms way back and of the legs as far forward as they can reach. And then just sort of snow angel the arms and legs to land apart and flop into Shavasana. Now as we drop into this final relaxation, we really want to support the intention of comfort. So if you're not comfortable lying on your back, you could grab a pillow and place it underneath your knees. You could lie on your side or on your belly. If you're too warm or too cool, you can adjust your layers. But once you're as comfortable as you could ever possibly be, let go of absolutely everything, even the management of your thoughts. And let's just take a few minutes to be completely still together. So let's begin to just softly wiggle around. Maybe let the arms reach back for a few moments. Walk your feet in and let your knees rock a bit from side to side. You might take a moment just to notice wherever the mind is drawn when given a little bit of space, unguided. And we're not at all called to do that for the sake of analyzing or judging, whatever that might be, but simply to notice our ability to observe our thoughts. And in doing that, notice again the inherent distinction between ourselves, the observer, and those thoughts. Right? So let's turn all the way to a side. And then lift up to find a comfortable seat. And as you rise up, again, just sit however it's easiest to be upright. With your eyes closed, rest your inner eye gaze right at the space behind your forehead. Visualize maybe a light there or just a sense of warmth, a glow. Notice again your ability to redirect your attention at will. So even if the mind gets active or circumstances are calling for your attention, you can always just take a moment to find a pause, to find your breath, to feel your body, to create space between whatever perception may have caught your attention and whatever response or reaction you might like to lend it. Thank you all so much for joining me again today. Peace.